friends, we'll be back again to OSP Pro. Welcome back again to our new video tutorial with OSP Pro. This is going to be how to use a PHP mainly with what known as app.js to come up with a real application. Now this is a real app. If you try to click here, I think you can see how it behaves. Just different from real stuffs. I know it behaves just like real app. Let me try to log out, give a user. When I log out a user, that's when the page loads back. And when if you happen to come back and give a wrong details of a given user and try to click here, I think you can see it tells wrong username or password combination. And then later on, the app goes back to its normal. Now, to anyone who wants an Android app, please just contact me. I'll put my details on the description below on this video, so that you can always reach me down, and then we can find out we're talking. Now, anyone from Uganda and would like to learn how to make Android apps and would like to learn how to make hybrid apps, like you can see what I'm now trying to do. I know some of you guys might be from a background of HTML. Now you did website designing as maybe a point of interest, and then now you're learning Android Studio. I know it might be kinda big hectic for you. I know to most of you guys, or to some of you guys, you may be finding it kinda hard to have this guy in your machine, or to have Android Studio in your machine. Now, to make the life more simpler, we may not need Android Studio to make for your application. You leave Android Studio for the meantime, but then I'll advise you later on, with the time to come, you should also learn how to make sure you happen to know Android, how to make a real application with Android Studio. But nowadays, life has been made simple. Now, instead of you learning up Android Studio or learning up Android, I can make my application just using one on us out. There are different platforms that you can actually use to come up with a given application. Like now, if you try to see this one here, that I happen to make this application using one on us font, using one on us just my HTML, CSS, bootstrap, W3 CSS. Then the main little big other thing that I happen to utilize here, I respected more of one on us the 0.js, the app.js, and then talk of maybe there's also one on us animate.css. Now, though I happen to list those, there's also the big background that I happen to make on my application. If you try to check on my application, I happen to have something called I have a database called the construct. If you try to look very well, I have also even a database in my application here, which database is called construction app. So I'm going to share this application live. I'm going to just give assumption. I'm going to just give any user for this application. So this is of what I have in the database. So if I just come back on my system this side, I just like this one to be this side, fine. If I come back here, I'm going to just give any user. So to just give any user, I'm just maybe YouTuber. If that's a name, you just give another name as maybe YouTuber. So I give here. And maybe before I proceed, you can always change this application based on how you want it. You can always change it the way you want. Like I can come back here and I try to select the size of the media I would like to test from. If you want to test from this one, you test from that. You get? Yeah. So if you find this good for you, then it is good to go. It's good to go. But if you find it kinda going to be hard for you, then I advise you not to. You can always click fit, that's the size for fit, and then you can change that, and then you can also decide for auto if you want. Then you can also look for mid size or something like that. Then offline, you can also use offline version of it, but since I'm online, I'm just going to use that. And I can also just select actually this one here. There's also that, so you can select based on the size you wish to use and the type of the media you would like to come up with, or the one you wish to use. So I give assumption, you just try to make this kind of bigger by selecting I think the kind of big platform for our application. Wow, that's good, but I'm not going to use that at the moment. Wow. trying to pick the one which I've been using previously. I think I've been using kinda maybe this, though the size has been big, so I think this one's better for you guys. You can now view from this, and you can always scroll, and you can always come back here and try to pick what you want. So let me just give assumption. I click here and then I just select up the one I want to use, maybe a YouTuber as the past username, and maybe email as maybe username one, maybe pro. Then you just give your details of the phone number as you may give it as that. So they select the gender, male or female, then click with the password. I'm just going to give it maybe as YouTube. Then I confirm password as YouTube. So I just check on our database as when I happen to click on this button submit. So when I come back here, if there's no error, no field left, if I click that, I think you can see it say, hey, your registration successful, go to login. So go to login means go to the login page, and I think you can even see our bar icons are just here up on top of application. So right now, like you happen to see, if I happen to check on our application this side, we should be in a position to see YouTube there down. I think you can see just down in our application here, real application, and maybe the database complete with it. So if you check here down, I have this button. You just try to resize this again, but like kinda to fit. If you check down here, we have this in application where they say oh login. Now remember, we already happen to register in this application. Now you can either, you have two choices. In fact, you can either just click here up to take to login, or since you have been on here for registration, you can just click this side for login and then take it to the same panel. Now the same panel to the login, this is what happens. Remember, we happen to register that given user with the details. So if I just come and pick the real email address, which is this one here, for a given user, or user happen to register into our app. So if I come back here and I try to just give that, and then I just try to come back here on application, let's say maybe YouTube, like that, and when I click that, I think you can see say, hey, wait, successful login. So it's coming in, or it's loading up our page, and I think within a period of time we shall be done with registration. So I think you can see it also even has this ability to sense those users online. Now since you're online right now, at the moment your user state actually changed right from 0 to 1. So at the moment, I think if you try to cross check here, we have the user state as 0, but if I happen to refresh on this page on load, we should find that this user status of ours turns to 1. I think you can see this is what I mean. So it picks a real-time application, or it picks a real-time from a given real-time from a given user. So that's why you see now here to say that one user offline and 5 online. So if you check back in here, I think you may find out that actually we have one user offline, and that user is actually OSP, this one Probox, like something like that. So that's it, my friends. So if you try to cross check, a given user now can even come back here. So far you don't have any view request. So if you click here, you don't have any, you have request to 0. So that implies this is one known as this construction service app. So this service, this is an app. Shortly you may even find it on, I may try to give it in the Play Store after adding some more features. So if you find that this app is more interesting for you, can also tell me, and we add those features that may be needed for this app, so that we develop this app as for beginners, and you guys also have it in the Play Store, and maybe you try to download them and try to see how effective the app may be. But later on, if you guys want the APK, I may be giving you the APK. Since even I have the database really installed, I can give you the data APK with the database. Then you guys just install in your applications, and then you see how it works up. So this is it at the moment. If you check now here down, we have one on us view request, whereby view request takes you to this form, and the page does not load at all. I think you can see when I just click here, it takes me to that page, and when I click here, I go back to my previous page, and when I click here, I can log out. Now this is it because that I happen to register as a user, as a client. You get? So if I come back here to fix my details, and I can come in here and say request for provider, for a service provider. So I say maybe I want an engineer, I want a builder, or I want a porter. So I may say maybe I want a porter. So when I click a porter, I want a porter, and I then just say request. I think you can see my request is taking place into my app, or the request is taking place, and right now I already have one request into my application, which is down here. So view request, when I come in now at the moment, I say view request. I think you can see the request I happen to take, that I happen to give in my application, where I happen to say that the service provider, the service porter, I want service porters, the registration date, blah blah blah. Maybe one thing that I may talk about in the application at the moment, I should set the number of porters that I may need. So I say the number of porters, maybe 2. Now that's not something very hard. If you try to cross check on application here also, we have the following stuffs. Under that we have services, whereby under services we have the following links, we have the following stuff. I think you can see this is just the part of the application, and the reason why you can see now I can track that given user stuff is that because of the ID. I think you can see the ID of the given user, which I happen to just put in my application. I think you can see this is it. So if you check that, we have that in our detail, our applications. Just try to pick this by ID, not by the user's file, something like that. So I think you can see that's it. So if you try to come back in an application, I can always go back home, and that's it, my friends. So guys, if you find this video more interesting, if you guys there's something that now you have happened to find out, if you want this APK, if you want this app, please just send me your email address, and then I send you the app application, and see how you guys are, and you see how maybe I happen to come up with my application. And if you try to also observe in my development environment as for programmer, under here in the programmer development, you'll discover that if I just try to refresh here, see what happens. It's going to happen here in our Android. If I just click here, pop, I think you can see it just shows that it's emulating, and when you come back here, pop, I think you can see how it is behaving. So guys, if you find this video more interesting for you guys, we just make sure that you subscribe to Always Be Pro. And if I told you guys you're from within the environment of maybe you're within Uganda, guys, or Kenya, from Tanzania, or within East Africa, or whatever, which part of the world you are coming from, and maybe you would be interested to making up one on us Android apps, or making up an hybrid app. So guys, just come into OSP ID Cross Solutions, then you find your best place as YouTube guys to make sure that you get the perfect practical stuff. For us, we based on practicals. We don't waste time for theories, because we know you really happen to come in when you don't know your theory. You know what you want, because we believe when someone come in for a short course, we believe that you come in, you know what you want for that given period of time, so you don't again want much of the theory. I expect you to have a little bit of introduction. So guys, the first thing that I have to let you know, guys, if whenever you're going to come in for this kind of applications, I advise you, if you know you have not yet, the first thing that I like you guys to first come up with is that make sure that you have at least some basics in HTML and CSS, then a little bit of PHP. But if at all you don't have any, don't worry. With all in OSP solution, provide everything. I mean, we begin right from the starters point. Like maybe even you may find that you don't even know how to use a computer. Fine, we may start from one on us computer application. From computer application, which I'll take you to one on us introduction to website designing, which then later on which I'll switch to one on us dynamic website development. Then from there we shall turn it one on us an Android app application. And I know the period of time that may take you for the complete session, it may take approximately 5 months or 4 months to complete the entire program, because computer application will take you 1 month, then a dynamic website designing, introduction to website, that's also 1 month, then dynamic, that's also 1 month, that's approximately 3 months. Then you coming to one on us coming up with Android applications, that's approximately 6 weeks. Then you'll become a pro. So guys, if you find this interesting for you, please just come in, hit me down, or just share our video to your friends who might be interested. Then I would love to guys to hear from you back. Thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Love you all. Thank you.